Hi everyone, my name is Dave, welcome on my channel, and in today's video I would like to talk about this here, this little machine. And you might ask yourself why, because it's an old Xbox One. Why would you like to talk about that in 2024? Because actually this is a nice cheap gaming device. Of course you won't be able to play the latest greatest hits on this in 4K because it's not possible, but there are some games which you can play on it. So if you're on a tight budget and you would need a gaming device, but you can't afford One X or the PS4 Pro or PS5, Xbox Series S X, then there is this here. In Germany at least, it's cheaper than the PS4, the base model PS4. This one here did cost me €70, but it came with 2 controllers and 8 games. So if you would take like only the console with the controller and all the cables, of course, then you would come to around €30–40, if not less. And in this video we will check if you are still able to play on a 4K TV, because I have a 55-inch 4K OLED LG, or maybe it would be better to play it on a 1080p monitor. So I have compared 7 online multiplayer games to check if the console is still capable of something in 2024. So let's dive into it. So the first thing was obviously Fortnite. That was the first game that I actually opened, and I was kind of sad actually, because the fact that it take like 10 minutes to load the game was actually crazy. And while I was waiting for the game, I could eat, I could do my things and come back and the game will be still loading. So that was a minus point on that. Maybe this was because of the HDD that consoles still have. So if we would upgrade this to an SSD, maybe this would be better. But actually after everything load up, I did manage actually to find a game really fast, and then it took another couple of minutes to load the game. So this was actually a little bit a struggle for me, you know, because like the whole waiting for the game to load, it takes so much time that actually you end up doing something else, and then you're like, oh, I am not anymore in the mood to play. So you just end up not playing the game because it took too long to load. So yeah, overall the game did perform kinda okay, I have to say. I mean, the textures are like terrible, okay? Let's be honest, they are terrible. It looked like you would play on a, I don't know, PS2, not even, because the PS2 system, the graphics are even better than that. I can say for a fact that the console, it isn't that powerful. It isn't as powerful as a PS4, but it's still quite good machine, okay? On a 4K 55-inch TV you will have a struggle to accept this, okay, the textures and so on, but it's still playable. You see 60 FPS. This drops, like you can see the frames dropping to like 40 even, and I didn't have the chance to check the FPS in a very intense battle, but I can imagine that they will drop to like 50, I think, if there will be some textures to load, like if the area will be really busy. So this could be a problem for the console, but overall I have to say that I did enjoy the session with Fortnite on this Xbox One. On the PS4 Pro and on the Xbox One X it was better, like obviously better, it was smoother, and there are almost no drops at all in the frames. But on the one, the OG one, yeah, you'll struggle a little bit with the frames and the textures. The next on the list was Warframe. I have to say I was actually surprised. Warframe performance, it was really good. I like I didn't expected that, like for real. This was really good for an Xbox One, because okay, the textures, they're okay, I have to say. Even on a 4K TV, they're quite okay. They're sharp, okay, and they are acceptable. I have to say that on the One X and PS4 Pro looks 1000 times better, but still you will be satisfied with the performance and how it looks on a 4K 55-inch TV. If your TV is bigger than 55-inch, then maybe you will have some struggle, but it's still a really good output, I have to say. I didn't had any stutter, I have to say. Okay, maybe the fights weren't that busy. Maybe in like mid to late game the fights will be really intense, and there will be some drops or maybe even more drops, but still the first minutes of the whole gameplay was really good to me. Next one was Warface Clutch, and I have to say that I did play this game for the first time ever, and I wasn't quite sure what to expect because I wasn't familiar with the gameplay of this title. Overall, the performance wasn't that good. There was some stutters, there was like problem with the loading because like to load the game, it took even longer than Fortnite, and I was like, I wanted to give up on this game, but at the end I decided, okay, I will give it a try. We will see if this will even perform good. After I found a lobby, I had of course to do some tutorial with bots, but after I found a lobby, it was actually playable but with some stutters. So if you decide to buy the Xbox One for Warface Clutch, I would say don't play on a 4K TV or like 4K monitor. Like the resolution, the console trying to upscale and like do everything is like crazy for this hardware. Okay, it's like too much, so have that in mind. Next title was eFootball, and actually I thought it would be like similar to FIFA, the performance, but it wasn't. I have to say I was disappointed because the performance was terrible. Like the first minutes of this whole gameplay wasn't that good for me. The performance of the console wasn't there, so of course it didn't look good, and you had stutters. There was no smooth 60 frames per second, and the game wasn't enjoyable for me. So I had to actually finish it faster, this whole game, because I couldn't play it. I don't know why. It didn't feel like FIFA. Even on the 360 or PS3, even on the PlayStation 2, it was way smoother. Like it was really good, the performance there with FIFA. But this title, it wasn't that good, and I didn't play any online match, so there was like no Wi-Fi connection, like bad ping or something like that, high ping. No, it wasn't there, so I was actually surprised that the performance is that bad. I did play it on PS4 Pro, I did play it on the Xbox One X, and I know that this game can perform really well, okay, and that you can play it actually really good. But on the One, no. Don't buy the console if you are planning to play eFootball on a 4K TV. No. Next title was Rocket League, and I wasn't even surprised that this will run really great on this console because it does run on an old laptop also well. So those couple of minutes that I played on the Xbox One was actually really good, and I didn't have any issue, I didn't have any stutter, and it was really enjoyable. So if you plan to buy this console to play Rocket League, even on a 4K 55 inch, or like I think even on 65 or 40 inch, it doesn't actually matter, 4K, yes, you can play on the Xbox One Rocket League. It's really good. The next title, War Thunder, and actually I was thinking that this won't perform very well like a Fortnite because there are many details that need to load, and actually I thought this console won't be capable of that, so I didn't had any hopes, but it surprised me because you can play War Thunder on Xbox One without any problems. Okay, the game will take little bit to load, not that long like Fortnite or Warface, but only a couple of minutes, and then you will be in the game and you won't even notice any stutter or so. Maybe if the fights will be more intense, then only then. But as for the gameplay that I had, it was really enjoyable and you can play it without any problems. And the last but not least, PUBG. I know that this game is very popular, but kinda didn't play it. I don't know why. I wasn't the type of guy to play Battle Royale, but I ended up testing it on this console, and I have to say that the performance is okay. There are textures that needs to load when you're falling, and this looks kinda bad. But overall, when you're already on the field, okay, you don't have the smooth 60 FPS, but it is playable. If you are planning to play some PUBG and your budget is very tight, this console is okay for it. You can play on a 4K TV and you won't have any problems with that. So this was on a 4K 55 inch LG OLED TV, but we will have to test it on the 1080p monitor. So we will head out to the sleeping room where I have my setup with my monitor. The monitor is 1440p, but after I plugged in the Xbox One, it did choose the 1080p as default. You can choose between 1080p and 720p, and I have to say that the first impression, it was good actually. Throughout this whole testing on a TV, I have to say that the console was really quiet, like for real. The PS4 Pro before it was cleaned and the One X before it was cleaned, it was like crazy. This one, I didn't clean it, I didn't repaste it, and it was quiet. Like even after 1 hour of gaming, it was really quiet. The only thing that was loud was the power adapter. You could hear the fan spinning in the power adapter, and it was actually crazy because I thought it's the console. No, it wasn't. It was the power adapter, and it was really, really warm. So if you will have your power adapter under your desk and your feet will be cold, just rest your feet on the power adapter and they will get warm, like for real. But this console, it was really quiet, I have to say. So the first game I chose to test was eFootball because, as I said previously, I had struggle on the TV, so I wanted to check right away if the same will be also on the monitor. And I have to say that on the 1080p monitor, it was much more playable than on the 4K TV. It wasn't still the best experience like on FIFA, but it's playable. So if you plan to play eFootball and your budget is tight, then you can go for the Xbox One and play it on the 1080p monitor or 1080p TV if you have one. The next one, Warframe. So there's like no difference on the TV and on the 1080p monitor. It was really, really good. Like I was playing even longer than I actually planned, and I didn't realize that because the gameplay was really, really good. There were no stutters, it was smooth, and you will have, if you will plan to buy this console for Warframe, then you will have no problems at all. And I can recommend Xbox One for Warframe. Okay, with PS4 Pro, PS5, Xbox Series S, X, and so on, next gen, you will have much better performance and like the textures, graphics, this will look better, okay? But if you're on a very tight budget, then you can consider the Xbox One. Even if you can't afford the Xbox One S, or like the Xbox One S is a little bit more pricey, then consider Xbox One because it is still capable of that. Next game, Fortnite. I have to say actually that on a 1080p monitor it performed better than on the 4K TV, and it is actually obvious for this console, but I would say that the experience was kinda okay. If you would plan to buy this console for this game, then you can go ahead actually, and on a monitor, 1080p monitor, you will have no problem at all with it. This won't look great like on a next gen, okay, with the details pushed to the max, but it's still playable. If you are for the gameplay and not for the looks, then you can go with it. Rocket League, without any surprises. It runs well, it looks also good, and you will have fun. You will spend like very little money on this console to play Rocket League. Why not? Warface. Like I said previously, the gameplay wasn't that good and I wasn't immersed in the game. This time I tried to play a little bit longer to see how it will perform, but I wasn't surprised. This game doesn't perform on this console very good. That's it. Like it had stutters, it glitched, and like you can't play it on this console. So straight no. War Thunder, yes, you can play it without any problems, and I can recommend it now, and I think even in the future I will still be able to recommend this because this game runs really well on this console without any problems on the 4K TV, and even on the 1080p monitor, no problems at all. And the last but not least, PUBG. It runs better, like for real. On a 4K it did run good, and on the 1080p should run worse? No, it did run good. So if you would consider buying this console for PUBG, go ahead. If your budget is very tight, go ahead and you will enjoy the game. Okay, if you are not a die-hard player, you are not hardcore multiplayer for the rank 1 and so on, go ahead. You can enjoy the game with this console, and you can enjoy even more titles. Not only PUBG, but all I have mentioned are actually okay. They are playable. One of them are better, others not, but they are still playable on the console. So summarizing everything, the question is if Xbox One is still a good choice in 2024. Yes and no. If you are on a tight budget, and it also depends in which country you are living, then go ahead. If you plan to play like only online free games, then yes, you can go ahead with this. If you have a better PC that can run Fortnite and so on, then no, don't buy this. Trust me, you will have better experience on your PC. But if you have only poor laptop and you would like to play some games online, maybe with your friends, or like start to enjoy something else than your poor laptop, then the Xbox One could be a choice. If you could get it for like 30-40 bucks or like 50 euro, why not? You can give it a try. Also, because this can play Xbox 360 games, that's why backwards compatible. It's really great, and you can play the titles of the Xbox 360 on this console and you will enjoy this. It can also play the Xbox One games. They won't run really great. For example, Cyberpunk. No, don't try this. Don't try this at all. No, it is a bad idea. But all those other titles, they should run okay on this console. So if you plan on playing some online multiplayer games, then go ahead and you can buy this console, have some fun. You won't have any problem with that most of the times. But you have to be aware of this here, of this panel, because it gets scratches. Okay, this unit here that I have, it has one big scratch and some couple of here at the top, and this looks a little bit painful. You cannot prevent that if you are buying this secondhand. I mean, you can check the console beforehand and be like really picky about that and tell maybe the seller, yeah, okay, then I will give you like 10 less because it doesn't look that good. The first thing is also to check the pictures always. And if somebody would ask me if I would get this console for a child, yeah, why not? Actually, because it's a really great unit, I would give it a child even. And with some games that are like for kids, of course, so the kid can have some fun, because the console is cheap. So if it breaks, it doesn't bother anyone. I paid for the Wii U for my son more than 100 euro. For this console, 70, and I got it with games and gamepads and so on and so on. So if I would like to buy this console here, like only the console, I would pay even less, like 30-40 euro. And if the console would break, then I wouldn't be mad about that. I would just buy another one. So that's why if you consider having a very cheap console to play some games in your free time, like multiplayer free games, even if you would like to buy some disc games and play like single player, for example, then go ahead. Why not? Try out. It doesn't cost that much. So if you won't like it, you can always resell it. Maybe at the same price, maybe you will lose a couple of euro backs, so don't worry about that. Try it out. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and we see us in the next one.